And joining us from Hospitality New Zealand is the Canterbury branch president, Peter Morrison. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Chris.
Nice to speak with you. How are your members feeling? I mean, all of Canterbury in lockdown level 3. Often we hear it as basically level 4 with takeaways.
Well, that's all about it is.
How frustrating is that for your members?
It's very frustrating, but we do understand what the government are trying to do, but we only hope it's going to be in there for a short time, because really a lot of our places won't be opening up. They tried it last time and it cost them money.
Yeah, I've spoken to several restaurateurs and cafes who have said they're just going to wait until they can fully open because it's not worth the hassle, it's not worth the cost. They tried it, just to try and keep their name out there in the public eye, but it was too hard. Is that the sense you're getting this time round as well?
Definitely. I mean, it's all right for the proper takeaway places like KFC and McDonald's and Pizza Huts and things like that, and some of the ones that do a lot of takeaway food, like some of the Thai restaurants and some of the other pizza places. But for other people to get it all up and going, and the turnover is not big enough to make it warranted. Yeah.
I know the government does the wage subsidy and the resurgent payment. Is that enough to bridge the gap in this current lockdown, Peter, or do you think that there will be some businesses that will just be doing it tough?
Yeah, no, it's certainly not. It's and we're thankful for the government giving that, of course. But the biggest problems we have is all the other overheads, is the rent, your normal electricity, security, anything that's normal weekly payments, you still got to pay them. Yeah. And
where does that money come from if you've got really tight margins?
Well, and that's the biggest problem, because we've been Christchurch has been in this situation for 11 years now after the earthquakes. Then we've had all the other things, and then this has come along, and we've been waiting for developments to meant to have happened and be open by now, which would have helped the hospitality industry and the accommodation industry, and we're still waiting for those. And it's the COVID really put it on it. I mean, there's businesses that are really struggling, and we didn't have a decent year last year with COVID, and they didn't have a fantastic summer because we didn't have the overseas tourists. So they haven't put a lot of money away because they haven't had a lot of money to put away to get them through winter, and now this happens again.
What do you do in that situation? I mean, particularly I'm thinking, I know that your association also represents many of the motels across Christchurch as well. What are they supposed to be doing? Because the overheads must be huge.
Well, they are, and some landlords have been very good with them, but there's some that haven't been. And some are really struggling, and there's every week there's one at least closing completely. The government under their housing for the poor is helping. They think they're helping by putting them in motels, but it's not anywhere not near a long-term solution or a short-term solution. But some of our members that had to take that drastic step of accepting them because there's nothing else.
You're saying roughly about one motel is closing a week in Christchurch because of COVID and other financial issues.
Yeah.
That's really sad to hear, Peter.
It is, yeah, very sad. And the other ones are all struggling, and we're still competing not fairly with Airbnb that don't pay the same facts and figures that we have to pay.
Another frustration on top of it, I mean, there are so many Airbnbs in the central city, it's almost as if the council continues to turn a blind eye because it probably suits their agenda to build tiny dog kennels in the central city.
Yeah, that doesn't help, but it should be a central government outcome as well, because that would fix some of the housing problem. Bring down rents, and people some of these people could be in houses.
Peter, even if we go to alert level 2, that's still going to be difficult, isn't it, for the restaurants and for the hotels, because there will be still requirements for physical distancing. There will still be requirements where you can't get up to get a beer. Somebody has to serve you only one at a time. So it's, I hate to say it, but it could be a longer road ahead than we want to probably even realise, do you think?
It will be. And level 2, I mean, level 2 is so much more better than level 3 though. So we prefer to be in level 2, but it is hard. And now they're putting the responsibility on us to make sure people have signed in properly with their phones. It's if they push all the responsibilities onto the business and none onto the personal responsibility of the actual person. It does more stress. And when we get back to level 2, level 1, it's going to be an extra staff member. So more costs involved to do it, for busy places.
What's your message to the government on behalf of, say, the businesses in Christchurch across Canterbury who are struggling, but as we see day in, day out, touch wood, there are still no COVID cases in the South Island? What would your message be?
I hope they won't leave us in level 3 for very long at all. Let us just get back up and running and then put us back into level 2.